بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد الدرس الثلاثون The 30th lesson. In this lesson بإذن الله تعالى we're going to discuss التمييز. And التمييز is also from the mansubat, the nouns which are mansub. So this is what we're going to be explaining before we read the passage, inshallah. So we have some notes here. At-tamyiz is what we're going to be explaining. So we've given two definitions. We've given a linguistic definition. What is at-tamyiz linguistically? It is at-tafsir wa tawdih. It's explain or clarify something. It's an explanation or a clarification of something. And we're going to see how this linguistic meaning is also incorporated into the technical meaning. Istilahan, this is the second definition. This is the definition of the grammarians. What does tamyiz mean in terms of Arabic grammar? At-tamyiz, ismun, is a noun, which is nakira, which is indefinite noun, which is mansub. This is what we said tamyiz was, is from the mansubat. Fadla, this is a new word. I thought I'd mention this word so that we can get familiar with this word because it comes a lot in the books of Nahu. Fadla just basically means it's not a pillar in the sentence. So we know there's pillars in the sentence. So we have two types of sentences, right? Jumla fi'liya, jumla ismiya. In jumla fi'liya, the pillars are fi'l, fa'il. In jumla ismiya, the pillars are mubtada, khabar. So it's not from the pillars. It's something which is excess, something which is towards the end. It comes at the end. Once the sentence is complete, this is an additional part that comes at the end. So this clarifies to us that the tamyiz will never come at the beginning of the sentence. It will never come at the beginning of the sentence. It only comes once the main meaning of the sentence is complete. Yudhkaru, why is it mentioned then? Why is this indefinite mansub noun, which is excess, mentioned? Yudhkaru tafsiran lil mubhami min dhatin aw nisbatin. It's mentioned as a tafsir, as a clarification, as an explanation. So that's where the linguistic definition is incorporated into the technical definition. It's mentioned as a tafsir. It's a clarification, an explanation for what? For a mubham, something which is ambiguous, something which is unclear. A mubham which is contained in either the that or nisbah, something that precedes it. This thing which precedes it is either a singular noun, which we're going to refer to as that, or the ambiguity lies within the whole sentence. And this is nisbah. So once again, what is that tamyiz? Tamyiz is an indefinite mansub noun which is excess. It's additional to the sentence, not one of the pillars. It's mentioned in order to clarify the ambiguity found in a word or a sentence that precedes it. So from this definition, we understand that tamyiz is two types. Tamyiz is two types in terms of what is it clarifying. بِاعْتِبَارِ الْمُبْهَمِ. In terms of the mubham, the matter that needs clarification, we can categorize tamyiz into two types. We have tamyiz that, clarifying that, or clarifying nisbah. Another word for that is mufrad, because in the tamyiz that, the thing that's been clarified is one word. It's not a sentence, it's mufrad, it's a noun. There's an ambiguous noun that needs to be clarified. We don't know what the essence of this noun is. So tamyiz comes and gives this word essence, gives it meaning. It's understood after we mention the tamyiz, before which it's not clear. Or tamyiz nisbah. Tamyiz nisbah is clarification, explanation of a jumla. There's some sort of association in the sentence that's ambiguous, it's not clear. So tamyiz comes to give it this clarity. So ambiguity contained in the sentence. Tamyiz nisbah, or it's called tamyiz jumla. Tamyiz that, or it's called tamyiz mufrad. We're going to look at this side first, and then once we complete this side, we're going to come back to this side. So tamyiz that, clarification of ambiguous words, occurs in four matters. We're going to look at these four matters in a bit more detail. The first one is adad, numbers. Numbers 11 to 99. All numbers require a tamyiz. They require an explanation, because when you say one, what's the essence of one? I don't know. What is one? Is it one bag? One person? What is one? What is 2? What is 3? These numbers, they don't have an essence. So you need to mention the tamiz. The ma'dud comes as a tamiz. But the reason why we're focusing on 11 to 99 is because this is where we do the i'rab as tamyiz, because it's going to be mansoob in this collection of numbers. Whereas if it was 3 to 10, 100, 1,000, it doesn't come as mansoob nouns. But it is a tamyiz. The ma'dud is a tamyiz, but we've neglected it. We've not spoken about it because it's not mansoob. When you do the i'rab, you don't say it's mansoob. You say mudaf ilayh. Like thalathatu kutubin. Thalathatu depends on whatever role it's playing in the sentence. Kutubin is mudaf ilayhi. But these ones, for example, thalathata ashara kitaban, for example, kitaban is mansoob. It's a tamiz. So that's why we're just focusing on 11 to 99. So numbers, generally, they need a tamiz. But we're focused on 11 to 99 because the tamiz is mansoob. So numbers is what? A noun. The ambiguity is in this noun, this number. So for example, اشتريت 20 كتابا. I bought 20. If I was to remove kitaban, what's 20? Yani? What am I referring to? It doesn't make any sense. It's ambiguous. Kitaban comes now. Ism, nakira, mansoob, which is fadla. It's additional. It's been mentioned, يذكر تفسيرا لمبهم. The mubham in this case is that. The mubham is that. It's one word. This is where the ambiguous word is. This is what needs clarifying. Kitaban has come to clarify this. So that's number one. The second type is al-maqadir. Maqadir is the plural of miqdar. Miqdar is a measurement. Maqadir, measurements. And what we're referring to here is defined measurements. Yani types of measurements which have a definite measure. Measurements that are being referred to are three types. Wazn, which is weight. Kail, which is measure of volume. And al-misaha. Misaha is linear measurements, distance. طيب. Three types of measurements, and I've given three types of examples here. So these measurements, these words which indicate measurement, they don't have an essence, similar to numbers. So if I say ton, for example, ton is a ton. Ton of what? Ton of metal, ton of dirt, ton of fabric, ton of what? Rice. It needs some sort of tamiz, clarification. So here, fil bayti tonnun aruzan. In the house there is a ton of rice. Tonnun, ton. Ton of what? Aruzan. Aruzan is the ism, which is nakira, mansoob, fadla. That has been mentioned to clarify that, this mufrad. So this is an example of wazn, weight. Ton is a measurement of weight. تصدقت بصاع تمرا. I gave in charity a sa'. Sa', I believe we clarified it before. This is a mud. 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you fill up your 2 palms, that's a mud. 4 of them equals 1 sa'. So تصدقت بصاع تمرا. I gave in charity 1 sa' of tamr, which is what you would do as sadaqatul fitr. Zakatul fitr, end of Ramadan, you give 1 sa' of the common staples of the land. So he gave tamr. تصدقت, I gave 1 sa' of tamr. 1 sa', yani this measurement, what's contained there? Is it steel? Is it wool? What's there? We don't know. So tamran has come to give clarity to this sa'. And this is a measure of volume. Measure of misaha. اشتريت مترا أرضا. I bought 1 meter of land. Has come to give it tamiz. So that's the second type, maqadir. I said maqadir is 3 types. Then we have ashbah al-maqadir. Shibh is the singular. Ashbah is the plural. Ashbah al-maqadir, words which resemble maqadir. And what we intend here is undefined measurements. This is maqadir, defined measurements. We know what a ton is, we know what a sa' is, we know what a meter is. But these measurements here, which are similar to the measurements, the defined measurements, actually refer to undefined measurements. And these undefined measurements are 3 types as well. So that which is similar to wazn, that which is similar to kail, that which is similar to misah. Undefined measurement relating to weight, to volume or distance. So the example of weight, مثقال ذرة خيرا. فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره. So for example here مثقال ذرة, an ant's weight of خير. So ant's weight of what? خيرا. خيرا is the تمييز. عندي كوب ماء, I have a cup full. A cup full of what? Water. I have a bag full of what? Aruz, rice. So aruzan is coming to define or to clarify kis. Ma'an is coming to clarify kub, this whatever is contained in this kub. Kub of what? What is the cup filled of and the bag filled of? Example of distance, maddul basari ardan. Maddul basar is as far as the eye can see. However far your eye can see is undefined. It varies from person to person. طيب, so this is number 3. Number 4 and the final one is al-far'u an al-tamyiz, that which is part of the tamyiz. For example, عندي خاتم فضة. So the tamyiz is fidda, silver, and the tamyiz here is suf. So the ambiguous word is part of the tamyiz, and it's coming off the tamyiz. This ring here, عندي خاتم فضة, I have a silver ring. The ring is made out of silver. It comes from silver. The thawb is made from wool. So number 4 is it's made of the tamyiz. Far'un an tamyiz. طيب, so this is the ambiguous word. Khatamun, gold ring, silver ring. What type of ring? Thawb, garment. What do you mean? Sufan, qutnan, and so on. So once again, tamyiz of that, also known as tamyiz al-mufrad, is where we have ambiguity contained in a word, preceding noun. This occurs in 4 matters: adad, numbers; al-maqadir, defined measurements; ashbah al-maqadir, undefined measurements; and al-far' an tamyiz, words which are part of the tamyiz, that are made up of from the tamyiz, the actual tamyiz. This is one side. The second side now, which we said, is tamyiz nisbah, also known as tamyiz jumla. The ambiguity is found in the sentence that comes before it. The association in the words before it contains some ambiguity, and it needs to be clarified. So the tamyiz comes to clarify this ambiguous association. So for example, izdada Muhammadun, Muhammad increased. Muhammad increased. What do you mean? So it's not one particular word that needs clarifying, it's the association between these two words. Increased in what? Ilman, in knowledge. So the tamyiz has come to clarify the association between two words. The increase in Muhammad was in knowledge. Fadlan, hifdan, and so on. Okay. Thus, tamyiz al-nisbah, tamyiz jumla. This is subdivided into 2 types. Tamyiz nisbah, tamyiz al-jumla is subdivided into 2 types. Muhawwal, ghayru muhawwal. Muhawwal comes from hawwala yuhawwilu, muhawwal ismu maf'ul from hawwala, to change, that which has been changed. So it wasn't originally a tamyiz. It was something else before, but it was changed into a tamyiz from something else. Ghayr muhawwal, it wasn't changed. It was tamyiz all along. So this one wasn't originally a tamyiz, it was something else, but changed into tamyiz. This one is 3 types. Muhawwal and fa'il, it was originally a fa'il, but changed into tamyiz. Muhawwal and maf'ul, it was originally maf'ul, but changed to tamyiz. Muhawwal and mubtada, it was originally mubtada in the sentence, but it was changed to tamyiz. So example of muhawwal and fa'il, we have izdada Muhammadun ilma. This tamyiz wasn't originally the tamyiz, it was actually fa'il. Izdada Muhammadun ilma, Muhammad increased in knowledge. The original sentence, al-asl, izdada ilmu Muhammadin. The knowledge of Muhammad increased. Izdada is fi'il. Where's the fa'il? Ilmu is the fa'il. وهو مضاف مضاف إليه. So ilmu was the original sentence. In the original sentence it was fa'il, but it was changed to tamyiz. Izdada ilmu Muhammadin. It changed to izdada Muhammadun ilman. It became tamyiz. So you can say this or you can say this, basically. But what we're trying to say now and explain is that it wasn't originally tamyiz. It was taken from the fa'il. Muhawwal and maf'ul. Example of that is gharaztul arda nakhla. I planted palm trees in the earth. Gharaztul arda nakhla. So I planted in the earth. What did you plant in the earth? Nakhla, palm trees. The original sentence was غرزت نخلا في الأرض. I planted nakhlan, palm trees, in the earth. So what was nakhlan originally? It was maf'ul. غرزت نخلا. This is the maf'ul bihi, but it was changed to tamyiz in this structure. Or the third type of tahwil, transfer or change, it was originally mubtada, muhawwal and mubtada. So this is after the change. Muhammadun jamilun sawtan. Muhammad is beautiful. In what terms? In terms of sawt, his voice. So original sentence was sawtu Muhammadin jamilun. Muhammad's voice is beautiful. So sawt was mubtada in the original sentence. Sawtu Muhammadin mubtada. Wa huwa mudaf, mudaf ilayhi. And this is khabar. After changing it, it becomes tamyiz. So muhawwal, 3 types. Fa'il, maf'ul, mubtada. غير muhawwal is simple. It just basically means that it wasn't changed from anything. That's how it was used and heard from the Arabs. So example, امتلأ الكوب ماءً. امتلأ الكوب ماءً. The cup was filled. Filled in what way? Filled with water. امتلأ الكوب ماءً. The cup was filled with water. Another example, ما أكرمك رجلا أكرم بك رجلا. Okay, with these 2 sentences, these are the 2 siyagh of at-ta'ajjub, the 2 forms that are used to show wonder, to show amazement. We already studied this one in book 2, but this is what is going to be explained to us in this lesson also. So I just wanted to show this as an example of غير محول. So ما أكرمك, how generous you are. How generous you are. In what way? رجلا, in your masculinity or in your manhood. How generous of a man you are. This is one way to show wonder. That's one format. The other format is أفعل به. يعني ما أفعله. And the second was أفعل به. We're going to explain this in more detail, inshallah, when we read through the exercises. أفعل به is the structure, and you can change it. أكرم به, أكرم بك, رجلا. So رجلا in both sentences are tamyiz. What type of tamyiz? Tamyiz nisbah. Is tamyiz nisbah. غير محول though. So everything on this side is tamyiz nisbah. This is غير محول, this is محول. Okay, finally, how can we identify the tamyiz? Is there an alama? Is there a sign? علامة التمييز is يصلح أن يخبر بمن البيانية. If you're able to bring min of clarification, min of the explanatory min before it, and it makes sense, then this is an alama that the word is tamyiz. So you bring min. In the case of tamyiz, that you can bring min and it makes sense, that's fine. Then you know it's tamyiz. And with tamyiz nisba, you bring min jihati, from the angle of before it, and then you attach the tamyiz after it, and it makes sense, then that's an indication that this is tamyiz. So let's practice it. Look. اشتريت 20 من كتاب. يعني 20 books is what I bought. It makes sense. في البيت طن من أرز. In the house there's a ton of rice. تصدقت بصاع من تمر. اشتريت مترا من أرض. مثقال ذرة من خير. عندي كوب من ماء. كيس من أرز. مد البصر من أرض. عندي خاتم من فضة. ثوب من صوف. It makes sense. So all of those words are tamyiz. Here we say من جهتي. So ازداد محمد من جهة العلم. من جهة العلم. Muhammad increased from the aspect of knowledge. غرزت الأرض من جهة النخل. I planted the earth from the angle of نخل, palm trees. محمد جميل من جهة الصوت. Muhammad is beautiful in terms of his voice. ما أكرمك من رجل. أكرم بك من رجل. أمتلأ الكوب من ماء. Sometimes you don't even need to say min jiha. You can just say min. As long as it makes sense to use min al-bayaniya before it, that's an alama that this is tamyiz. If that's understood, then we can read the lesson. So al-mudarris, he says, أشتريت الأشياء المطلوبة لصنع اللوحات النحوية يا أحمد. Did you buy the items needed In order to make, صنع يصنع, صنع is the masdar. In order to make اللوحة, لوحة is like a sign or chart. لوحات is the plural. The signs or charts or posters. النحوية, grammatical charts, grammatical posters. Ya Ahmed, did you buy the things needed in order to make the grammatical charts, O Ahmed? Ahmed says, نعم, yes. اشتريت مترين ورقا. I bought 2 meters. 2 meters what? Of paper. ورقا is تمييز for مترين. This is a مقدار. This مقدار is تمييز ذات. تمييز مفرد. و15 قلما بأحجام وألوان مختلفة. So he bought 2 meters of paper and 15 pens. 15 قلما. 15 pens. This is عدد now. 11 to 19. Remember, it comes as mansub. قلما is تمييز. بأحجام. حجم is size. So أحجام sizes. وألوان مختلفة, and different colors. Different sizes and different colors. المدرس, تعال يا علي. Come, O Ali. واكتب هذه الآيات على السبورة. And write these ayat on the board. Ali says, ليكتبها أحمد. Let Ahmed write it. فإنه أحسن مني خطا. For indeed he is better than me in terms of writing. خطا here is تمييز. تمييز نسبة. The sentence here requires some sort of clarity because it's ambiguous. He's better than me. What do you mean? Better than you in what way? Better than you in manners, in reading, in voice, in writing. He says خطا. Let Ahmed write because he's better than me in terms of writing. So this is تمييز. يكتبها أحمد. Ahmed writes. المدرس, اقرأ هذه الآيات يا زهير. Read these ayat, O Zuhair. Zuhair says, ليقرأها حامد فإنه أحسننا تلاوة وأجملنا صوتا. Let Hamid read it, read them, the ayat, read them. فإنه أحسننا تلاوة, because he is the best of us in terms of recitation. وأجملنا صوتا, and the most beautiful of us in terms of voice. So tilawatan and sautan, they coming as tamiz. This is tamiz for ahsanuna, and the nisbah here, the jumla. And sautan is the tamiz for ajmaluna, the best of us. So this is tamiz nisbah, tamiz nisbah. Hamid begins بعد الاستعاذة والبسملة after saying أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. He reads, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And who is better in speech? The one who invites to Allah and does righteous deeds and says, indeed, I am from the Muslims. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا. This is the shahid. Point of evidence here is tamyizu nisbah. Who is better? In what way? Better in terms of speech. طيب, فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره. And whoever does an ant's weight of good, he will see it, and whoever does an ant's weight of evil will see it, yani on the day of judgment. So مثقال ذرة, we said ذرة, the size, the weight of an ant. This is a miqdar or shibhu miqdar, undefined measurement in terms of weight. So this is tamyiz that. Khayran is tamyiz. Sharran is tamyiz for here. Al-Mudarris says, Ma sha Allah, and he praising his voice. Ahsin bika qari'a. How good of a reciter you are. This is the second type of sigha in terms of expressing at-ta'ajjub, amazement or wonder. We said there's two forms. First one is ma af'alahu. The second one is af'il bihi. Af'il bihi. That's the pattern. And then you can change it accordingly. So ahsin bi, and ha is a dhamir. You can replace it with whatever dhamir you want. Ahsin bika. How good you are of a reciter. So qari'an is the tamiz. Ahsin bika qari'an. And how good you are in terms of what? Recitation. ملأ الله قلبك سرورا كما ملأت قلوبنا بهجة وسرورا. May Allah fill your heart with happiness. May Allah fill your heart with happiness. كما ملأت قلوبنا, as you have filled our hearts with joy and happiness. بهجة وسرورا. So this is tamyiz. Likewise tamyiz. One of the things we learn here is that just as we said regarding the maf'ul lahu, لا يتعدد, you don't repeat the maf'ul lahu. If you want to repeat it, you have to bring waw atf. You have to do atf. بهجة وسرورا ورحمة. You can't say بهجة سرورا. You don't have two tamyizes. You can only do atf. طيب, this is tamyiz nisbah. This is tamyiz nisbah, and we could say this is muhawwal. This is muhawwal. Muhawwal from maf'ul. Mala Allahu surura qalbik. That was the origin. Mala Allahu surura qalbik. May Allah increase the happiness of your heart. Then it was changed to Mala Allahu qalbak sururan. May Allah increase your heart, or may Allah fill your heart with happiness. طيب, اقرأ الحديث يا علي. Read the hadith of Ali. Ali begins reading. He says, عن نافع, on the authority of نافع, عن عبد الله, on the authority of Abdullah, رضي الله عنه, قال, he said, أمر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بزكاة الفطر صاعا من تمر أو صاعا من شعير. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم commanded with zakatul fitr. Zakatul fitr is the zakah that is given at the end of the Ramadan for every Muslim, male, female, young, old, adult or child. Sa'an min tamrin. This zakatul fitr, zakatul fitr, sa'an, is given as a sa'. Sa' we said is a measure of volume. One sa' of tamr, aw sa'an, this is atf to sa'an, or one sa' of sha'ir, barley. Rawahu Shaykhan, reported by Bukhari and Muslim. They are the two sheikhs. وغيرهما, other than the two of them. So أمر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بزكاة الفطر. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم commanded with zakat al-fitr صاعا. This is tamyiz. طيب, بارك الله فيكم. This brings us to the end of the lesson. Please attempt the exercises and we'll go through it next lesson inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.